Boomers and Duck Squad. Oh, good. The game's working. That's great to see. It's Boomers and Duck Squad. Boomers and Duck Squad, isn't it? Boomers and Duck Squad. Right, let's just see what's up here. It's 8. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back for another caster series on ESOC TV. My name is Harrison, and today we're back with the ESOC Premier League 3 action. This is the Week 2 game between the Boomers and the Mandarin Duck Squad. So yeah, the Blockhouse Boomers, Mandarin Duck Squad. We have Lukas representing the Boomers here, spawning into the southwestern map in the colour purple, playing as the Japanese civilization. And we have A's representing the Mandarin Duck Squad, spawning into the northeastern map in the colour blue, playing as the British civilization. This is a live cast. This series is hot off the press. We are riding with them about 2 minutes behind, just sorting some final settings out. But these guys are currently in game. And yeah, in between the lobbies in the games, you'll probably see me going into the match browser to find the games. So it's really good to see these guys playing at their level in real time. So, looking at Aizamk's point of view so far, playing the British on this matchup. We've just seen this matchup on my own personal channel of British versus Japan, Alligator versus Big Chiss. Of course, those two players are way too good to be playing in the ESOC Premier League. They're in the ESOC God League or some sorts. And in that matchup, we did see the British player staying a bit age 2, mixture longbow Huss. Then slowly transitioned to musketeers with upgrade cars, but in the third age, really go musk heavy, cannons, giving anxiety style. But he's a man who doesn't like to follow the meta. He likes to follow his own way of doing things, and it'll be interesting to see how he wants to approach this game here. Working on 135 coin. I'm sure he'll come back to that later once he's got another crack shot, or he could be a big boy and try and tank it and micro his treasure as it is, but I'm sure he wants to get out on the map and see what else is there for a taking. He can always come back to that at a later point. Lukas here, playing as Japan's civilization, mid-map explorers, picked up 80 food. We do see a shrine mid-map already, one sheep trying to get onto that shrine, but I'm sure they will get pulled back to the base at a later point. In deviations to the last game, we do see a Portuguese consulate being dropped down by the Japan player instead of extra shrines and was it the Sugar Shrine in that sense? But it looks like Lukas here will go for the Portuguese consulate here, and himself is going to be aging up with the Mother Nature, yeah, to Sugar Shrine. I just wanted to check because we always want to check these things. But yes, to Sugar Shrine, I'm sure he'll pull his sheep onto the shrine at later points. And yeah, so it was just interesting to notice the opening differences between Lukas and Big Chiss we saw in the last series on my own channel. So yeah, we got same card opening, 3 vills, but Portuguese consulate here for Lukas, while Chiss was going for extra shrines. 100 XP treasure here, very, very nice treasure. Forward villager here from Aizamk, being scouted out by Lukas this early on, that's quite lucky. Actually, he may not notice it. Okay, if that villager stays around too long, I'm sure he will. And now he's moved it away in a very decisive action. He definitely does scout what's coming in. I'm sure Aizamk will be dropping down a forward building, maybe forward manor house, forward barracks, and the play will continue from there. Aizamk here trying to take down an 80 wood treasure right next to Japan monks. That is brave in the sense. Aizamk still got to remember he's got that big treasure on that top side of the map. Still to gather at a later point. Don't want to leave that hanging too long. But one Japan monk here trying to go for the treasure contention. I'm sure the other Japan monk here is going to do some shrining. Yet one shrine coming down. Treasure contention come down. Blowgun about to get picked off. Ooh. I think Lukas got that. Oh no, Aizamk got that real close. Looks like Aizamk's worked out the perfect timing for the right click onto the blowgunner and then right clicking the treasure before the blowgunner's even been killed. So yeah, nice bit of micro there from Aizamk in particular, but Lukas wasn't far behind on that treasure contention. Right, let's click that button. Let's click that button. More info, yes. And looks like I can view the post game in the middle of the game, but I don't really want to just yet. It's all good. So yes, we got the Aizamk UI as well, which is nice to have as well. I kind of got used to not having it all this time, but now to have it as well is certainly helpful. Specifically, checking the shipment sent and the technologies researched on players. So, for example, if I click the villager, I can see that Lukas has researched his first tier food gathering. He's getting his second tier food gathering now, and that can be shown alongside the villager text on the bottom here. So we see from the British player, forward barracks, 1 outpost here. Aizamk sending 700 wood into 600 wood. We do see 1 spy being made at the side church, the church of the Florida swamp. Maybe they're praying that the swamp monster does not show its face today in Florida, but this spy is hunting down the Japan explorer and has actually managed to find him red-handed on this shrine. He's onto it, and 1 hit, 2 hit, GG easy, no re, Aizamk the god. What a beautiful opening there, and that's just paid off that church play. Move donation bar, that's an absolutely great idea that is. Let me do that. Obviously, draw attention to the donation bar is always appreciated as well. Let's move this. We'll go here. I think we can go here. We'll do that. That sounds good. Cool. Right. Cheers for letting me know on that one. If anything else needs changing, always let me know. Always let me know. $700 wood, 600 wood, 5 ills behind this longbow pike opening. So it's very interesting to see how these players play and have different ideas of how they want to go about these openings. So the Brit player's gone completely different to what Alligator went to. We do see Lukas going different to what Chiss is going to. At the end of the day, though, it's just any game is interesting and every game is just fun to watch. But a couple of pikes are going to get picked off by Yumi archers. Ooh, nearly getting the 3 picked off, but that one last pikeman living with just 6 HP. Longbow's moving into intercept. Even in that exchange, I think the Yumi archers can overwhelm the longbows. So A's is going to need to change his tactic up a little bit, and looks like he's going to go for a mid-map stable. 700 coin being shipped behind. I think he's going to try and actually catch this Yumi mass out a bit in the open. I think Lukas is thinking, okay, Brit player's going longbow pike, double racks possibly, wood shipments. He won't have a stable, but the Hussars in queue already, and there's potential for Lukas to get trapped as a result. Longbows moving in. Oh, there's Ashes right on top of the longbows. Oh, well, great pop there from Lukas, of all people. We always think that A's is the master of pops, but that is a great pop there from Lukas. You see A's was trying to push across with his longbows and get a nice pickup on the villagers with no greatcoats. Lukas there baiting the Vil kills, but out come the Bestiaire Consulate crossbows. Ashes in mid-combat. Yumis were a bit far away from the action, and if those Yumis were closer, that army from Aizamk would get cleaned up. But this allows A's to keep Lukas interested. A's thinks that Lukas thinks that he's in the upper position. But out come those 5 Hussars coming along. Just the 5 Ashes behind. That's a bit of micro there for A's, but I think the 5 reinforced musketeers. Lukas is extended. Oh my god, Lukas, you've got to be careful. You're playing defensive Japan here. You've got to be very careful. And here come the 5 Hussars for the snare. And Lukas is like, wasn't intending for those Hussars on the field. Caravel was coming in from A's. He's actually committing to this shipment as well. That shipment flag will be placed very far forward. Can he get it forward? I think he hasn't got the line of sight. Yeah, he's going to put it down there. So that will help defend the army if it retreats to the land, but we'll pick off the 3 fishing boats. I think Lukas was hoping for a few more fishing boats. However, he can see with the consulate crossbows in the field, which signifies that the Portuguese fishing fleet was not tacked into as well. How's that good pop? Well, because longbows in melee mode suck. Well, actually, no, they don't suck as much as I thought they would, actually. They looks like they do more damage, but it's more of the pinning the army down with the crossbows behind doing range damage, protecting the villagers. Overall, that was a good pop there for Lukas. No, you don't need active line of sight, that is true. However, from Aizamk's point of view, I don't think he actually had scouted much of the coast to drop the flag, because he can't put the flag here because it's too shallow, the water, so he needs to go deep. I wasn't quite sure he actually scouted that deep into the water. But yes, always keeping my toes, loving that. One explorer trying to throw up another shrine. Did that shrine explorer ever get back up? Yes, he's still standing. He's at full HP now. This one looks like he will get picked off, unfortunately. But yeah, some Vils up the top here getting picked off by the Ashes as well. Ashes into melee mode because he's just assuming that's a snare. Here comes another spy, and that's another dead explorer. That's a really nice play. So Aizamk just valuing that a dead explorer at this moment in time is certainly worth more than 125 coin. And I think he's absolutely right to put that justifiable trade on that exchange. I think Ace is very happy. It's the XP as well. It's now the scouting potential that the spy has. It's the kind of that fear factor thrown into Lukas, saying that, you know, every time you ever explore it on the map, I will kill it with a spy. And yeah, I think so far, just due to how the game's gone, you have to give the advantage over to Aizamk. Minutemen being called over just to try and pick off these rogue Ashigaros, just to try and protect those Vils. I think those Vils did eventually go down in the end. 44 villagers here for Aizamk. Schooner's been sent in behind this now. Lukas up to 36. Daimyo coming out. Strong army here for Japan here. This is not an army that Aizamk really can fight, and he's going to back out here. He realises that defensive town centre, a bit of pathfinding issues with cavalry, and a real strong ranged army here from Japan. Ace is just going to absolutely nope out of there, especially as he just sent in the schooner shipments, or sending in and transition into a fish water boom on the, well, on the water. Where else would it be? Lol. Second dot coming in. He's gone for the schooners here because he's already sent in the wood cards for the manor houses, so it's not like he can say, oh, what's better, schooners or 700 wood. He just doesn't have the 700 wood shipment anymore. So sending the schooners is going to help, and the schooners' reduction in train time is actually the real key reason why he's gone for the schooners from H1 instead of, let's say, having an H2 card like rendering plans or sending in fish market. Outpost has gone down. The barracks is going down behind this. Lukas, it looks like he's in full committal to H2 play behind this. Here comes Ashi attack. Yeah, Ashi attack coming in. Could send Yumi attack as well. Export available. Don't know where. I don't know really how this diplomatic intrigue card really functions here for Japan. Never see it ever get sent. Cherries are nearly low, so next card will, after this one, will have to be the cherry orchards. So I'm sure Lukas will remember that kind of 12-minute, 13-minute timing of the cherry orchards. Stable coming down here from Aizamk. That's going to get torn down. We have a heck drop in a subscription with the Prime as well. Thank you very much. The Saab batch is going to get close, but I don't think he would want to. Even if he could train it, I don't think he would want to train it, because that 1 or 2 Hussars would have instantly got picked off there by the Yumi Archers and Ashi. So, yeah, he's not just in full retreat mode at the moment, and Lukas just moving in deeper and deeper. He's actually going to go straight into for the town centre. I don't think this is. Well, I suppose he knows that there's Minutemen have already gone, because he's scouted the Minutemen on the Ashes on the top side. So he knows Minutemen pops here. He knows that, yes, he's got barracks, but he's got Yumi Archers top side of the barracks to deal with. Musks coming out. He's got Ashes on the southern side to protect. 6 Musks from the town centre. That town centre's gone down very fast. He's got a lot of units here, and it's a lot, I tell you. There's the town centre going down. Villagers exposed. They do have the great coats. So they will tank a little bit more, but obviously they won't be staying alive for too long. As long as they just tank fire and help their army to help kind of do damage. But it's the Daimyo sat in a very nice position, tucked in behind the Ashi Yumi line. And these guys buffed, doing lots of damage. Ashes with carded Japan bonus and Daimyo support. 32 range attack. Aizamk's army is just melted like a hot knife through butter in the full retreat. Yes, he does have the economy on the water. He's starting to get them. He's only 5 fishing boats. He's still a long way from that water eco paying off. And the resign comes in. And Lukas taking game number 1 in his Playoff 5 series. I'm guessing a game win there for the Blockhouse of Boomers. Real different game to what we saw about half an hour ago on my channel. So it was really interesting to see how in Age of Empires 3 there's no real one way to play a game of Age of Empires. There's lots of strategy, there's lots of diverse ways of going about your business. And Lukas was pretty clinical of what he tried to do. Couple of shrines coming down, just standard cami build, but you can see from Lukas's point of view, managing to get both 4 villagers shipments in, was able to stabilize with a nice strong economy, and just continuously produce units on the second age, and committed to the second age push, knowing that if the Brit player wants to go to the third age, he has a slow age. He's never going to get there. It'll take him a long time, while the Japan player can keep stacking upgrades, has a much stronger H2, and as a result just basically pushed his advantage, used his civilization in the right way, and got the just rewards that he deserved. That military population, I want to say, so obviously Lukas is a Japan player. Where was that batch of... So this might be in the batch of 16 to 28. So this might be the 5 Ashes plus 7 Bestieras popping. Did lose some of the Ashes and then some of the other units coming in behind. Maybe Minutemen pop as well. I still think this is an alright trade there for Lukas because he kind of kept Aiz's army there, protected his villagers. Longbows were about to queue up a volley onto the villagers, but the Ashes coming out into melee mode on top of those did a lot of damage there. Bestieras, high HP, high attack style units, crossbows compared to longbows, so that's good. Then it got a bit dicey afterwards as Aizamk baited the army away and pushed in with hussars, but they didn't really get too much of a cleanup behind that. The caravels came in, didn't have too much of an impact. Schooners came in, it didn't really have too much of an impact. The 6 musketeers came in very late, if it ever even reached the floor. Might have actually, town centre might have got burnt before that shipment hit, but Aizamk really not having too much impetus from his shipments. While meanwhile, Lukas sending Daimyo into Ashy attack, just stacking the unit upgrades, the strength as well, and that final fight, it wasn't even close. Villagers going down, military going down, everything going down, and the game goes over to Japan. So yeah, GG for that one, and we'll move on to the next one. Also, yeah, again, having one last thing. 7 sheep on your shrine. Very, very nice. And there's a turkey to round it off. So a full to sugar shrine. Yeah. Fish boom. Yes. Too late. Browse game. All regions. All non-ranked matches. No, not closest region. Come on. DE, stop doing closest region. I don't want to go closest region. Like, I don't want to play people in UK. There's no one good enough. Apart from Hazza. And apart from a few others. Right, Aizamk is game's just starting. Dakota literally just started now, it looks like. So we'll hop into game number 2. I think I'll just check that there anything else happening here. Right, let's see it. It's time for the main squeeze here from Lukas. Lukas loves his Chinese play. Aizamk here going to counter with Germany. I'm going to assume that... I don't actually know who picks first in this matchup. I know it's a team who picks first. Maybe one of you guys in the chat can let me know which team picks first. I can kind of probably read in just a little bit more in depth of actually who picked what and what they're thinking into this, picking this matchup. But I think Germany in this map, 2 in-base silver mines, trading line, decent treasures as well. So like usually 2 tier 1 treasures in base. So the early market feels very achievable here. Got the more info tab here, very nice. Let's turn off the fog wall and see what Aizamk can see. Do you see the Tomahawk treasure? 30 coin as well, very nice. Aizamk's got a lot of coins it is already, so I think he's picked up 2 beaver treasures as it is already, yeah. 50 coin and 40 coin. Oh my, and 30 coin. Just imagine if he's playing Dutch, like how OP would that be? But that's enough coin to get himself the hunting dogs. Buy the wood, he only had to chop a little bit there, but he's already all resources now onto food. Already herding in his elk hunt as well. That's just how confident that Aizamk is going to reach his age up time with no idle. He's going to start his herding early. And I think in the DE meta as well, that early herding is just so needs to be prioritized. This pronghorn hunt could run so far. And Lukas knows it. He's just getting on the early herd. He's like, I'm not going to deal with this running across out here when his Ulan's out in the field. So he's going to try and work it in. And to be fair, it's fine because, one animal will go down. But that villager can gather for the entire H1 while firing back the remaining hunts. Okay, maybe it's been a bit too quick on the herding there, but we get what he's trying to achieve. Aizamk seeing the 100 food treasure here, has his crack shot ready to go, so he's going to move in, take 1 crack shot, attack the other one, and should be fine. decent amount of XP, 20 XP. Does get his settler wagon shipment being sent. Yeah, all right time. Okay, it's a little slow, but it's not like you can really help it. It hasn't really come across many treasures with Guardians. He's just picked up the beaver treasures so much, so not too much XP on offer here for the German player. But the the 2 settler wagons, the 4 villager equivalent, coming in now, just a little bit after 100 food. Really strong H1 so far as well, with the whole market opening as well. I think Aizamk should be very fine. He may even consider now getting Gang Sword early in. If he gets his Gang Sword tech now, that should be completed for when he does want to age up, so his transition will be a little bit more smooth, a little bit more efficient. Real life Bramin confirming that the Blockhouse Boomers locked civs in the first. Well, I think the first game is open civs, so the first game that they do pick would be. Wait, no. The game 1 is open pick. It's not a team picks first. So somebody else will have to just somebody check the scheduling thread and come back to me of who picked first. Like that's all I'm asking. All I'm asking. So Gangs was coming. He's aging up. He's got a lot of food stacked over already, so he could have got that one a little bit earlier. That's all fine. And yeah, chopping in transition. Most German players here looking to go for 1 trading post in transition, then maybe get enough wood there for the place of mines. Leftover wood for steel traps, maybe on the later shipment, like 700 wood. And maybe if they're feeling very special, an extra 50 wood there for a potential church. I do encourage German players to utilise a bit of market trading very early in the game, maybe only up to like 3 clicks or 4 clicks to help. But, well, no, only 1 really, because you need to get that house and that's about it. Thinking of getting his 90 food treasure, but he really wants that XP income, getting that trading post. He hasn't got that shipment yet for his second age, so he's really prioritising that here. Just banking that the Chinese monk is at home, and yeah, Lukas is at home with his Chinese monk. Don't really want to be losing this on the mid-map to some German lands. He's going to try and take his home trading post as well. So it looks like Lukas here, 2 village opening with the 3 villager from the northern refugees. But we'll go for a transitional trading post. This will slow his age up time to the 3rd age a little bit if he is going for fast fortress play, which I think in this matchup is the right decision. He's got a village really tucked up close to this gold mine, so you can pass villagers from the town centre village onto the mine undisturbed if that's needed. A lot of hunt behind here. I'm sure as the situation develops, this hunt will move, but at the moment I'm really struggling to find a good place for where he'll drop down his age 3 wonder. Can just about put it here, but any villagers on this southern side over here will get killed. Too much hunt here. Might not be enough space here. There's trees over here. There's a village, town centre. Don't want to go forward. So hopefully he's kind of clear this area up a little bit, but it's not really next to a village as well, so it's a bit awkward in that little situation. German explorer pushing in, trying to find where this Chinese monk is. Monk's going back to the town centre, nice and defensive. Mid-map barracks crossbow production. Lukas will have no idea if that is what A's up to. A bit surprised that A's is making crossbows. You feel for the man of his stature, he'd be going straight into doppels, just because he's a man of creative strategies. 700 gold, 700 wood here for China. As soon as he sees crossbows, alarm bells should be ringing here for the Chinese player. This is not a standard opening here for Germany, so you can expect more crossbows and more pressure. That village will get into the town centre. So far the crossbows are manageable. You may not want to consider going into a military shipment, but if he had cancelled, the 700 would have gone straight into bows. Well, these pikes would feel very useless very, very quickly. I'm going to try and do the trading post. I think overall that's still just a win for China. Like, going bow, pike, siege, and a trading post, it's not the biggest deal. The wood has been shipped. He can't really be flexible anymore with actually cancelling that into a military shipment. But if you're not going to be in the base harassing and let him gather up the wood, the wonders drop down as it is already at a really impressive time, 6 minutes 30, considering that he's got the train post as well. This is just feeling clean from Lukas. It really is feeling very, very clean. Consulate being thrown down as fast as possible. Looks like Lukas wants to prioritise the British consulate into redcoat intervention shipments to deal with the kind of crossbow pike from Age 2 and obviously Uhlans as well. I think that's absolutely fine decision there for Lukas. Makes perfect sense. And yeah, crossbow pike, we're not really achieving too much so far. Old hand about to pop out here from the Summer Palace as well. One War Academy. That's just one Ville building it though. A bit risky. That might go down. Having said that though, I don't think China can really afford production from the barracks this early in the Fortress Age anyway. If they're going really aggressive, age up, concerts come down. They've got the trend post, obviously now been sieged down. First batch from the Old Han, and yeah, no real Ulans in the base anyway. I haven't seen an Ulan this game. I don't know where they've been. Is he just like deleted his Ulans in base? Has he just like got them trapped somewhere in a coin mine? Are they on a cliff? I haven't really seen them. I assume obviously they've been in the towns and they've been in and around Lucas's base already. I'm just being a blind monk, but yeah, you're just amount of times I've played this matchup and you're thinking, okay, damn, this is gonna. Here come the cavalry. Do I call my pikes? Is it going to stun my age a bit, time down a little bit? But yeah, no, I think Lukas has been given a nice breather. He's just trying to siege the barracks down. He's just got skirms behind. He has to back off. He's doing that now. Intervention being shipped. He's like taking a second training post. He's actually taking Lukas's old training post. Potential ideas of taking full map stagecoach control, but I do see 700 gold coming behind here. Do you see a church as well here from Aizamk? What is Aizamk up to? What are you doing at the moment? Lots and lots of food. He's getting his great coats, but this macro is it's just a bit of extra food. I think he just wants mass XP. I don't really see that Aizamk here is going to be going ideas like advanced church or mercenary heavy play. Does have 5 dops in deck, does have 5 dops in queue, doesn't have 1,000 wood, as Germany feels a little bit curious, I suppose, in that sense. Losing Explorer to a Bandit Gunsling is also a bit brutal. Yeah, the War Academy is repaired as you spot out, Archer. Good spot there, good spot. And I was trying to find where the army is, but it's just underneath the star on the minimap. You can't really tell where everything else is, but yeah, arquebusiers and redcoats. Age 2 Germany can't touch that, and they have to age it behind. And I played a game recently versus, I'm going to say Herbie. Trying to open up with Jaegers, way too slow. So it looks like the 8 skirmisher play here from Aizamk is the much better choice. But with no racks, there's no real way to amass a decent bundle of skirmishers behind here. He's got the stable, potential war wagon opening as well. You do know that the Chinese player behind this is now thinking of cav batches, and there's the first cav batch from the War Academy. A couple of Ulans here going to raid, so that's quite a nice idea there from Aizamk, but the cav batch will move into possibly snare from range as well, and 5 meters being sent behind. So yeah, the Chinese player here going Confucian Academy for the skirms, sending the redcoats to cover, and the next shipment is the 5 meteors for a really well-rounded 3-unit composition, and German player will be quite hard pressed to deal with. The scores suggest it's actually mighty fine here for A's, but I just don't feel the position matches the scoreline today. And Iron Flow here getting called up by the Ulans, not the greatest trade there for China, but it's okay. It's less Ulans to be upgraded to veteran. He still wins that fight overall, which is actually quite surprising. Okay, it's not really that surprising to us, but yeah, it's 4 veteran heavy cavalry versus 4 colonial kind of semi-heavy cavalry of the Ulans. But he's going to link up with his 5 meteor shipment. He's got 6 meteors, 1 flail behind this. Lukas now trained Skirm Standard Army, the Skirm Sword Army, the Territorial Army, I believe it's called. Yes, Territorial Army Combat. But this mass he's just got is real scary, especially that he's got the monk here at basically 4 HP. There's disciple opportunities here. He's got a decent amount of crossbow skirmishers, but 1 HP Minutemen, colonial skirmishers. Even versus his small, massive arquebusiers, it's not really much. And just the 3 war wagons here is not going to do anything versus the Z move of the Cav and the Redcoats. And now actually with this 3 war wagon shipments, this is actually a really nice pop there from Aizamk. Nice timing. The Cav has just about all gone down. So he wounded from the previous engagement from the 4 Hussars. And yeah, haven't actually made contact onto the crossbow line. And that's gone incredibly well there for A's. Absolutely incredibly. Monk is in cover mode though, tanking. Should be trained disciples. I think he's got a couple on the queue. Redcoat batch from the consulate. Another cav batch being trained. Another shipment ready to go. The problem is he's basically committed here because he's snared by the Uhlans. He's got the war wagons pinned. He's got lots of stuff reinforcing, but he's kind of committed to staying in the fight, which is not ideal. But he's trying to make the most of his situation. And yeah, Aizamk just having a cracking fight there, just attacking from all angles. Flying Crow comes out, Cav Batch, red coats as well, and the Territorial Army about 60% way to completing. So a lot of potential to come out later on here for Lukas. His economy here is not looking too bad, 32 villagers with Summer Palace support and Confucian Academy. I don't think Flying Crows in H3 are that worth shouting about. They are they're decent, but they're not good. They feel pretty awkward. They're only good versus warships and buildings, I feel, in the third age, versus like artillery versus units that don't quite pack the punch. When you get to the fourth age, wow, they really hit home hard. 4 meteor hammers, 4 flails, going for cavalry focus ideas here. Just continuously training that kind of Cav Batch behind this. I think Lukas is just hoping that A's is not going to continue that war wagon production, and as soon as you just kind of burst through those war wagons, it kind of opens up the German army, which is going to likely be skirm heavy, skirm Uhlan. The Chinese cavalry can do certainly a number on those remaining units. But you can just feel that after that first fight, Lukas feels like he's under pressure. He's on the back foot. He's just sitting back, waiting for his mass to naturally grow. But Aizamk's going to take the time of, okay, I have map, I have the kind of tempo advantage. I don't need to send a unit shipment straight away. I'm just going to send in Cav combat. And this is a strange, deck here from AZ. He doesn't have access to either 8 Uhlan or 7 skirms. Not saying that they'd rather send 8 Uhlans, but if he was under pressure, he would be forced to send 5 DOPs. But instead of Cav combat, Chinese Cav are going to try and chase down his 2 Uhlans, just try and make the most of any engagement they can pick up. Yes, the villagers went down, but you can't let these Uhlans escape. Meteor Hammer's snaring 1, Meteor Splinter snaring 2, and actually a villager on the coin mine will get picked off here. So 2 vills for 2 Uhlans, another good exchange. Vet Uhlans being researched there just in time for A's. And yeah, some good damage as well. So all in all, a very good raid there for Aizamk. Looking to come back into this game nice and strong. Yeah, I agree, Alligator. Like, I thought the bow pike opening felt awkward. It didn't really accomplish much. Lukas had a very clean build, but is pushed into the opposing territory. Although it looks scary, just the A's pop there. Already had a batch of war wagons out, timed it with the war wagon shipment. Just nice engagements. And now with Aizamk with the 2 train posts and the church providing experience points, not really contested. Germany's gone through 3 shipments in the third age, just providing that tempo. These war wagons obviously now combat carded behind, 575 HP, 48 ranged attack. Vet Uhlans with the Cav combat as well. You can tell that the majority of the army here from Germany is in the cavalry. The skirms help, and we see another 2 Uhlan raid going off down to the southern side. There is a village here, so that's not too bad. Villagers move into this 1 bison. Me, I'd be a bit wary that there's 2 Uhlans coming in, but these guys should be a forewarning to anything going on. A big fight possibly? No, just a skirmish. But reinforcing much of Arc sword being picked off. 1 skirmisher going down to the Flying Crow. Back in base, we do see 1 villager going down to the Uhlans, 2nd villager going down to the Uhlans as well. And losing the villager underneath the village is slightly awkward in that situation. Lukas doesn't know if he wants to push on, push back, push left. He just doesn't know which direction to go. Cav Batch moving down to the south to try and catch these 2 veteran Uhlans. Another Flying Crows. He's going to try and wait for this Flying Crow, it seems. Just slowly push, take down the house. But yeah, 2 Flying Crows together is very strong. Okay, here comes the 5 DOP play here from Germany. That's a nice idea. I think DOPs do very well versus China. I think it's like China and Spain who like to mix in hand infantry, China, and hand infantry and hand cavalry. A good way to kind of answer that is basically mirror them yourself. Go for your own hand infantry, cavalry, or hand infantry, musk infantry, or skirm. See a lot of players go musketeer skirmisher versus China does quite well as well. Okay, so 2 Flying Crows, bit awkward position. About to have Uhlans from the top side, but you see the war wagons trying to move down to the southern flank. They got 16 range. They can certainly fire from distance. That Flying Crow is half HP. 2nd volley that will go down. That Flying Crow hasn't turned around to fire. And yeah, I think Lukas realised that he needed to get a volley off at least to pay it, but he just couldn't get in the ends. And another smart engagement there from A is moving in, picking off a couple of reinforcements, pick off the Flying Crow, and then just retreats. Another Flying Crow just exposed on the northern side. Very slow on the when they're unpacked, ready to fire. And just Lukas just unable to move to that position to defend. A couple Cavs are coming back in to join the army, but from Lukas's point of view, Cav going from the north flank. I think Lukas is trying to set up a massive trap there. So although the Flying Crows have gone down, it still seems like the Chinese army here is somewhat scary. Although he doesn't have the skirmisher lead that Aizamk has, 19 arquebusiers versus 29 skirmishers on the field, he does have enough war wagons, 10 war wagons, cav combat, and the Chinese cavalry here, they don't have their double-faced armor just yet. No, they don't. Another batch of British musketeers being trained, cav batches being trained again. The Changdao has been held back by the Doppelsonders in combat. Arquebusiers are focusing down the war wagons. A lot of good micros coming on here, but it's just enough stuff here behind here from the German player, and also from the German player's point of view, he still has most of his skirmishes intact. So after the kind of the cavalry, hand infantry, war wagons have kind of traded off behind, it's still a skirm war that Germany's leading, and that's a very lovely position to be in. And I think Lukas is now looking to be in a bit of a tough situation, because these arquebusiers again snared out of position. They killed the Uhlans in the end, but the skirmishers have a great time. Oh, big reinforcement batch. Double iron flails here on top of the skirmishers will do huge damage. High tanking cavalry, but with splash and multipliers versus skirmishers in particular. These are strong anti-skirmisher style units, and very undervalued by players, I believe. 3 vet Uhlans, 5 war wagons here. Not many arquebusiers behind. You can see Lukas is trying to move in and trying to pick off that final batch of anti-cavalry there from the German player so that those iron flails can get onto the skirmishers. But unfortunately, he needs more skirms now, and it's quite hard to pick off the war wagons with this low amount of skirms when Germany has this many on the field as well. 30 military population to 13. Germany having a decent amount of economy, going for a second town centre, but has access to the map, has access to coin mines. And yeah, the 2 TPs just been sat here for all this time, just providing so much experience points here for the German player. German player now even feeling comfortable in sending in the Black Riders to protect his skirmisher advantage that he has. Chinese cavalry raid on the gold mine, very nice. Outpost trying to be thrown down, but counter raid here by the skirmishers on the villagers. German explorer being revived, that's very nice. So war wagons are going to move to the northern side to pick off these cavalry as well. So what A's really wants, he wants his outposts out so he can actually send the Black Riders forward, so he can just quickly reinforce this position. It will take a while otherwise for them to cross the map, but yeah, the outpost is getting built, but it's not really being built by settler wagons. They can't even get it definitely built before the Riders hit the field, and I think they do. Nice raid top side. He's going to send it forward. It hasn't just yet. He's going to send it home because there's cavalry in base going to get chased down by 4 Uhlans, which might force the bait and take the engagement. Actually, Lukas still wants to run, but he's actually going to get caught by the Black Riders anyway. Another town centre going to be thrown down here by Aizamk. No town centre being dropped on this gold mine in the middle. I think that's the place where you'd want to try and secure the most as a German player. He's only got his 1 town centre on here on this like kind of half-ish gold mine or silver mine, and a couple of hunts, but not too many. Chinese one getting picked off again, being revived by the cavalry running through the base. Unfortunately, meeting the end again, and I think the monk going down there as well, and that cavalry raid. Seeing the Black Riders, that has to be the point of no return there for Lukas. Sometimes you never like to say it, but you just have to feel that losing these little units here and there when you really can't afford to when you're that down on military, it feels so hard to come back in. 18 skirmishers here for Aizamk, but the anti-cavalry department, 4 war wagons, 9 Black Riders, 7 vet Uhlans with 5 being trained behind here, and nearly a shipment, enough coin for Jaegers to come in behind this. It's got iron troops. Yeah, you can pray, you can hope, you can think there may be a chance, especially kind of like versus like a skirm war wagon army with the iron troops may have a place, but unfortunately, this few chain dowers is just going to get opened up to a vet Uhlan a Zeb move, and Jaegers kind of come onto the field at a later point. Multiple spawn points from the town centres, the outposts for them to come in at smart position, but the A's is even smarter. He's going to go for the raid here. He just knows that actually Lukas needs to push, he needs to do something, but he has the mobility. He's going to utilise that to his advantage. I'm going to go onto the village, siege it down. Doesn't see all these villagers on this gold, on the silver mine. Doesn't see the villagers on the hunt below. Just sees one village with some number of villagers inside. Picks it off, and is just going to be on his way afterwards. He might even just leave the village itself and just run at this moment in time. Doesn't need to stay any longer than he has to at this moment. Don't want to lose actually any units really for it, and he might actually lose one Black Rider as a result of the arquebusiers firing out a volley, but no. Aizamk does get away. And yeah, this is just a tournament game. Aizamk's just controlling this on the military fronts, the map control front, and the economic position as well. 40 villagers here for Lukas. Big A's 53, and that includes 7 settler wagons and a army about double the size. Jaegers trade off there for the iron troops. War wagons here might get absolutely picked off, but I think A's is quite happy to see that. I think he's just going to go and try and finish this game here. Moving in, one flying crow in position. Chinda's going to try and get onto the cavalry here, but every time the Jaegers and skirms fire a volley, it's absolutely brutal. One iron troop taking a sword from the Ulan. Every time the Ulan damages an iron troop in melee, it's just such a brutal engagement. Low HP, high range resist there. The Chandas have gone down from the war wagons and the skirmishers, and all that's remaining is the archer arquebusier, and Lukas taps out there. Does not want to watch this army get cleaned up again. He's going to call it there. A's back to 1 apiece. There we go. Let me find out. I want to find out who's picking first. Like, I need to know who's picking first here. Okay, the Blockhouse Boomers will lock Civilizations first in game number 2. So, yeah, Lukas is the part of the Blockhouse Boomers, and A's is the Duck Squad. So A's has just counterpicked Lukas's China with Germany, and looks like this counterpick has worked in Aizamk's favour. So, yeah, good Civ micro, you could say, good Civ play, but I think actually the game play from Aizamk in the Fortress Age was absolutely crisp and clean. I thought Lukas's build in particular to get to the Fortress Age was very crisp and clean. A's kind of bow pike opening was is questionable. I didn't quite see where the double batch of bows would really kind of help in this situation, especially as the first 5 went into the town centre and kind of got picked off very, very quickly. The train post eventually went down, but Lukas was up with Redcoat intervention, arquebusiers, and pushing across the field. Maybe could have waited a little bit longer, but I don't blame him for pushing at that time, because that was the only time when the Germany just got up, still got some colonial units left over. Army strength overall wasn't looking great, and just an Aizamk pop of war wagons, and yeah, it looked really, really good. Yeah, that first fight it was looking all right. Looks like much more population. Took a decent trade as soon as Germany aged in the kind of the middle area and kind of forcing Germany back. But that pop of 3 war wagons, so it's 38 pop up to 52. So 3 war wagons, 3 Ulans as well. Maybe Minutemen. No, I think Minutemen were previously already called. But yes, that was a good pickup. And yeah, these units being trained. It looks pretty good there for Lukas, but these are units trained at home, where the remaining units here were just left to die out in the open. And yeah, the remass happened. The second fight, it was looking close, but after this fight, it was German players there for the taking, because the Flying Crows went down basically for free there for the Chinese player, trying to get the German player to engage and take the bait, and with the Chinese cav to move over the top side and kind of box in and kind of go for that perfect charge from the side, but it didn't quite happen in this game. And A's closed off the game very safely with the Black Riders and into Jaegers. Yeah, really good production of villagers from A's in particular there. Kept growing that economy. And yeah, good game. Good games all around. Curious that Lukas actually had more resources. Oh, that's just food. I was about to say, no way. Yeah, of course, Aizamk had more resources, as to be expected. Okay, let's move on to the next game. So that all regions, and yeah, look, Aizamk starting already 1 minute. Like it's just a great when you have enough time to chat in between games, then go back into the lobby and bam, the game is there ready to go. Mexico, let's do it. This is Aizank's civ to pick first. Let's see what we can go for. Let's go for India with Lukas counter picking with the Aztecs. As if civ balance actually mattered with Aizamk. Oh. Okay, so I think you've just won comment of the day with that one there. Aiz is not afraid of any challenge. He'll play any civ, any matchup. He'll think of a way to win it, and more often than not, he usually does. So the map is Mexico, the old ESOC Arizona. Aizamk spawns to the north of the map in the color blue, playing as the Indians. Lukas playing as the Aztecs, as we saw in the loading screen. He spawns to the south in the color purple. He's got one crate of wood being left over, it looks like, but he's... Oh, I'm looking at the wrong person. I'm about to say he was chopping. No, he's got one crate of cord of wood left over. Looks like he's just going to go house, community plaza. I'm not going to bother with the market, but he's got enough coin treasures here for it to be a possibility. I don't know. I mean, chopping 50 wood to get 10% extra food age 1 and in transition is really that time. I think it kind of is worth it, especially with the coin treasures here. Looks like Lukas are going to convert one of these outlaws and then pick up 2 native scouts as well. What a huge treasure this is for Lukas. And I think with this kind of age 1 army, especially with the 2 native scouts with a decent hand attack, although it does have negative multipliers versus villagers. I was about to say that forward aggro fort is looking very dicey here for Aiz. And I think Aiz will be forced to build at home. And we've seen this matchup a few times today already and in previous days. Close matchup, but Aztecs usually edging ahead. I've seen Izad beat Lukas in this matchup. We've seen Chiss beat Alligator. Alligator beat Chiss, with Alligator taking the win as the Aztecs. So as far as I'm concerned, in recent play, this matchup's one apiece. So I'm interested to see who's going to finally decide which way this matchup goes. And to be fair, the game that Lukas did lose as the Aztecs, he actually played very, very well. Massive raid he was unfortunate on the receiving end of, and it was just a messy game. Such a long game on Gran Chaco. But this isn't Gran Chaco, this is Mexico with a 4 trading post line going right through the middle. And I don't think, if Aizamk can't really contest it, I think Lukas is going to be rubbing his hands here thinking, actually, this is going to be a good time to reverse my fortunes in this matchup. And I'm thinking Lukas is, I'm going to say, about 60-40 in the lead for this game in terms of my predictions of who do I think is going to come up on top. Aztec Explorer here, taking down the 60 food treasure. Already going for advanced trading post here, so a very similar build to what Alligator came out on that Siberia map. Aggro fort slightly forward, but most importantly here, blocking access to the town centre in between the copper mine and the trees. So safe trees, safe mining, and once this hunt gets on the other side, it's aggro fort, safe food, back hunt as well, very, very nice. I think this placement from the aggro fort is very smart. I can't really think of a better place for it, because it just feels, especially with these trees here, it feels safe. I mean, I know over time these trees will go away, especially if a native just kind of gets on the other side, and then the aggro fort just blows a hole onto these trees, and all the trees fall over. But see, Lukas here just moving in with his explorers, age 1 stuff, just being annoying. Is it to try and tank fire, to trying to disrupt the transition eco, trying to maybe force some of these villas to move back, just scouting? Who knows? But yeah, losing one of the native scouts there. But the bandit rifleman's still at 4 HP, and the other one, I think the other scout had taken 2 full volleys there from the town centre, so a bit of overkill there from Aiz. But I suppose it's native scouts. If they're not dead, they're still scouting hidden and just being obnoxious. So it's certainly worth making sure that one was definitely going down. Mimos suggesting this is known as the Sheckler build. Daddy Sheckler right in the meta. Great to see. I think just it feels decent. It's not often India's prerogative to try and push out early age 2, especially if they got their market down, they're getting their techs in. There's the Hunting Eagles looking to go for civil servants as the next tech. Also, you can get a villager as well, so a little bit pressed for resources here. I think I saw H2O always say that the first tech from the market should always be the civil servants, as the Indians in this case, because you're always gathering a bit of everything. And it just helps you tick along in that situation. We see foreign login here instead of 700 wood. 700 wood may be an opportunity for Aizamk to take a slot on the trading line, get a consulate out nice and early, a couple of houses, village production, afford the market tax, but basically giving a bit more of an initial jump into the game to try and take advantage of Aztec's slower build here of the taking the stagecoach line. As it will take a while for the wood shipments to be sent, gathered up, the stagecoach to be invested. So like this should be, he should be researching stagecoach right now. He needs to do it right now. It takes a minute, a whole minute to research, and it's actually a long time, especially when this train post might not go up. Oh, it does go up. Oh, it's so close, so close. That's actually quite lucky. Outlaw Rifleman here doing massive amounts of damage here. Nearly picking off the entire seaport itself. The Eagle Scout doing pretty decent damage as well. Just even 10 attack ranged in the second age. Certainly, you know, it's certainly more than 0. And every little helps. Really early batches of Puma Spearmen. I think that was the trained Pumas, and these slingers were sent behind here. We can use that gold he found in the first stage. Stagecoach is on its way. Is finally coming in, and Aizamk trying to take his own train post, as I alluded to earlier, which it should come up just in time, and that will be a hindrance to Aztec player, but it won't be a disaster. Actually, the elephants nearly ran into the front pikes there of the Aztec player, but managed to escape to the north. Unfortunately here for Lukas, a bit of I remember chatting about this a while back. I saw about it in other times, but this is the map I always think about it on. Is when you upgrade the stagecoach, the trade lines to the stagecoach, every single train post past this point gets auto detected. So that's just got himself Aizamk's just got himself a plus XP shipment there, and the shipment restarts. But if you can time it so that the trade cart spawns here, you get an instant pass of all the TPs set together of XP, and then you go again straight away for the stagecoach on the wood. It's such a huge bonus. I call it hitting the trading post jackpot. And the thing is, because the line takes a minute, and that's each trading post here. If I was to ride with Lukas, I don't think much else is going on at the moment. If I was to ride Lukas, you could see is 87 wood. 87 wood, well, I know that the train posts gather experience points at about 1.00 XP per second. It's that close to 1. So I know that, what's it going to be? Something like every set of 87 seconds, that train line is going to be here. Take away 60 seconds, so let's say it's 90 seconds. Let's say for ease of argument, 90 seconds. So 1 minute 30, 3 minute, 4 minute 30. If you want to go for a 4 minute 30 jackpot, I research at 3:30. Also, that's not really possible. But if you want to hit the 6 minute jackpot, I research that at 5 minutes or 4 minutes and 55 seconds. So when that train post starts again here, I get bam, 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 bam sets of XP there and then. And yeah, just maximise the efficiency of the trading line, and just so much tempo you get from an instant plus 400 XP. Your brain hurts. Yeah, it's. I mean, that's the thing. It's you don't often like theory craft that kind of level, but if you can, it really pays off so much. Coyotes here engaging Sours. Again, a decent trade here. Sours only really good versus light infantry, and just picking off all that Sours early on. Very, very nice. On Thompson Slingers here, reinforcing that middle position. I haven't really seen A's do too much to deal with this at the moment. I don't think he can, honestly. Sending Osman Vils behind here. Is now getting down at stable, but he's just lost the 4 Sours. Double batch of Slingers here from Lukas. Lukas having sent the both 9 and 8 Slingers. Now sending in the Puma Spearmen. Agrafort doing some decent damage. Actually herds the Bison away. So that's a big win there for Lukas. many sets of train posts? Probably about stagecoach, probably about 3.5, I'd say. It used to be about 4, but it's certainly not anymore. But yeah, it's certainly worth fighting about. But it's 4, which will never be idle. Can change resources, prolongs your natural resources longer. It really has such a positive effect onto your economy. Coyotes charging in. One elephant was picked off there. The second elephant being managed to get away. Only a couple Gurkhas here. A few more in the back line here. Sentry's getting out, but they're going to get focused on with on slingers. I don't think Lukas needs to be over aggressive here. I don't think he needs to force the agenda this much. He's underneath the town centre. Rajputs have come out here from the Agra. That was a trained batch, I believe. Yeah, Rajputs now being sent behind as well. What is it with Aztec players sending in Rajputs today? I suppose Rajputs on Coyotes and Slingers, or mainly Coyotes. If you focus on the Slingers of the Sowers and the Agra and the town centre, the Agra's gone down to all his pikemen. I didn't even consider that those pikemen are still here. This is a clean-up, and this is just looking dire for Aizamk behind here. Lukas just utilising the 4 TP stagecoach to just such great effect. There's only one war hut. That's the considering thing. Well, that game's just flown by before my eyes. I kind of wish we had a bit more of that 30-minute gameplay action we had last time Lukas was out. But yeah, no, that's absolutely just clinical there from Aztec. And you can now understand the Aztec counterpick in the Aztec Dutch matchup on a TP map in particular. Yeah, no, I really enjoyed that. Good game. Good game. Timeline. Aztec never really sent in villagers. Missed a couple of villas early on. Was trying to squeeze in the resources there for squeeze in the what is it? The resources for stagecoach. You never actually really see this massive like spike of XP for Lukas as you'd expect, because when that stagecoach comes in, you expect the remaining train posts under your command to get that experience jump, but they never quite happen because of yeah, being past a 3rd trading post. So I think this is yeah, 1, 2, 3, then restart. Maybe the first pass and the first train post wasn't connected to wood. I don't know, but it's hard to see at the moment in time. But the idea still stands. Sour's being picked off for free here. Huge pickup. Absolutely huge pickup. The answer there to the on-time slingers of the 4 Sours, the 3 Consulate Huss. He's got Ottoman Consulate here because he went Ottoman Vils and then Ottoman Hussars afterwards. He did not have enough export there for the Ottoman Minutemen, which would have been very, very nice in that final engagement. And then Rajput's being trained. Rajput's being shipped just a little bit late. Those units scrambling into the battlefield, but the timings were a little bit off, just trying to hold on to the Aztec pressure. And yeah, no. To be fair, if this Aztec was, let's say, a Hausa player or an Ethiopia player, all you guys in the chat would be losing your minds right now, going, "Oh my God, it's so OP, please nerf." Me being one of them, that would I'll probably go like, "Oh, this is absolutely preposterous." But yeah, we'll move on to the next game. Big cheers! Hooray! He's got a lobby going on. ESOC says hello. Hello! Goodbye. Non-ranked matches, all regions, spectator mode. A's has just started his game on Man Show. Absolutely excellent stuff. Let's do it. I don't think so, Minnie. I've extensively looked into it. I don't think that's the case. I have to disagree with you there. Unless they've changed it. Unless they've absolutely changed it. That was never the case in RE. No, man, I've sat there with a calculator. I've worked it out. I was like, here's what I had before. Here's what I had afterwards. But if it is everything, I will come back at a later cast and I will offer my official statement of apology. And it's something for me to look into at a later point. Because I'm now, You've now piqued my curiosity. Oh, Big Soldier coming back for some more action on ESOC TV. I swear Soldier's never been the same player until I destroyed him on his stream. I joke, it was a fun game. But I was watching the remainder of his stream, I was like, oh, Soldier, you're on like a 7-game losing streak now, what's up? You can see he was getting visibly annoyed. But I'm sure Big Soldier will bounce back. Been loving the recent streams though, really enjoy you as a streamer. I think you're certainly one of the top streamers that just enjoy you as a person. And yeah, your gameplay's good as well. It's always a positive. Yes. Right, we're on to the fourth game. Lukas leading the series 2-1 so far. Aizamk taking a trading post in base. He's playing as the British civilization. Lukas here playing as the Lakota. This is the map where Lukas gets to pick his civilization first, irrespective of previous results. So he's gone for the Lakota option, with Aizamk going for the British counter pick here. Somewhat surprised it's not France, but I suppose the French CDB Musk trick to counter Lakota has been done enough times in recent memory. So I'm sure Lukas would be very prepared and ready to defend that if that was what Aiz wanted to do. But Aiz has chosen to play as the British here. Manchurian, decent map, nice amounts of hunts, bit of livestock, double in-base defensive mines, yaks, decent treasures. There's no real bad map for British anywhere. I probably wouldn't say this is the biggest counter pick for the British Civ have in the game, but versus Lakota, I would have to say it is again a British favoured matchup here, and it is looking to be mighty fine in the Civ Micro. Lukas here working on a 75 wood treasure, very, very nice. He hasn't chopped in Age 1 for a market or for a trading post. Maybe this wood may cause him to change his tact a little bit and how he wants to approach Age 1. But with no wood crates to start the game as Lakota, there's not really too much going on. Soldier's thinking a Harry grudge match. Soldier, I can't even beat Herbie. Like I lose 3-0 to Herbie Master, and yeah, that's if I was to play you in like a best of 5, I still won't win. Like I should just retire after that one game. But yes, never a fan of Lakota's slow agents in the third age. That's my takeaway on that game, and I'm interested to see what kind of build order and idea Lukas has in this game. I'm sure watching Soldier beat me 5-0 or 7-0 will be a good certain level of content, but I do think people enjoy watching closer games where me and Soldier won't be close. I just got lucky that one game. Anyway, back to this game. We do see Lakota player here does have 3 privateers, 4 privateers in deck. No war canoes in the third age at all. Just relying on kind of mercenary boats to deal with the damage. Having both 4 axe riders, 2 dog soldiers, I'm not sure I think I've kind of gone off the idea of having both 4 and 2. I noticed in this deck there's no 15 bison, there's no great hunter, and there's no either European arsenal or let's say TP attack. There's a few cards it's really hard to fit in as the Lakota player. I think the Lakota is like the only civ in the game who would love to have 15 cards in the second age. Every card has a purpose, it has a place, it has a specific role, and yeah, I don't often just find times where I'm sat there thinking, okay, given I got seat and bows and clubs and 4 axe riders, when do I ever get around to sending the 2 dogs in the second age? And quite often you just don't feel like you ever do. Trading post in transition. I have seen a lot of wood actually being chopped here from Lukas in total, but I'm trying to see where the rest of that's been spent. 1 TP. Okay, so Warhawk being thrown on the eastern side. Sure. He hasn't got European Arsenal there, so I don't know why he's thrown a single TP randomly there. What's this? Is this some sort of hidden mechanic I don't know about? Why would you do this? Just for me to observe. It is a nice design building, I gotta say. It is nice. Yeah, that would probably have no effect this game whatsoever. Oh, maybe because you're just worried that the British Explorer move into snipe, but it only increases, it multiplies your top HP and current HP, so it's not actually going to get too much. It's like a 10% on your current HP, so if you're lower HP anyways, you're not going to get much from it anyway. So I don't get that. Misclick up, maybe, I don't know. Maybe Lukas thinks it's playing China, or say which need houses. Doesn't matter. I don't need to know. Anyway, 5-seed bows coming out. 700 wood is to play. And a lot of players recently have been favouring a infantry style opening here from the Lakota player, utilising the speed advantage here from the Explorer mixed with the kind of agileness of the Seaton bows. They're 4.5 base speed, but with the Explorer they do top up about 4.9 speed. So certainly speedy boys. Double rate of fire than Musketeers, double attack versus Musketeers as well. So the Seaton bow versus Musketeer matchup is very, very in favour of Seaton bows, especially if there's a tanking unit ahead like the Axe Rider or the Explorer, which will be the case here. Four Dog Soldiers coming in behind. So let's see what Lukas can achieve with these units. And I kind of like the mixed pressure that the Axe Riders and the Seaton bows can provide. I've tried many build orders along the lines of 4 Axe Riders, 5 Vil, 700 gold, age up that sense. And the Axe Riders, they do enough. They don't hit the field fast enough, let's say. But the Seaton bows here will do the musks. The Axe Riders go straight into longbows, and now Aizamk is in trouble. He needs to think of a way to come back into this one. He's got enough resources for Minutemen. He's got some wood to be gathered up, but haven't quite got the resources there. Outpost and Town Centre can one-shot kill a Seaton bow if micro together. Minutemen moving in to block off the Axe Riders from touching the longbows too much. And Lukas is going to back out for the time being, satisfied with the kills he's picked off, the damage he's caused, the Minutemen pop, and he's actually fine with the 2 TP stagecoach behind as well. So I think Lukas is quite happy how that's gone. And he's just going to keep his Axe Riders alive. Got some clubs in behind now. Let's ride with Lukas, see what he's sending. He's now sending in the 6 Seaton clubs after there's 4 Axe Riders. Still train more clubs. Lukas has got full intentions here of just going aggro, just continuously putting on the pressure, and just sending unit shipment after unit shipment, which is, you know, is an absolutely fine way to play. No stable, and yeah, I think for all you budding Lakota players out there, it's just the notice. It's just the one production facility because you can't really afford double production. So there's no need to go stable and Warheart. He's got the cavalry and the Axe Riders, and then that explains why his Dog Soldiers here, because he's got the infantry to train and ship. But if he needs a cavalry, he can then, you've got 2 shipments, 2 sends to have that functional role and skip the stable entirety in the second age. I'm a bit worried though, because if this doesn't work, he then wants to age up, then he does need to then drop the stable down himself. He then needs to kind of research either vet axe or vet bows. He will have, you know, easy access to training with keeners, but it feels like this is geared up to a kind of a committal to the second age, basically a pseudo all-in here. Villagers on the coin mine a bit exposed. They do have a great coach. Villagers popping out to try and tank as well. Some musks getting on the action. Let's look at Aizamk and see what he's popping here. He does have blunderbuss being researched here from the villagers. Double batch of longbows, 6 musks being shipped behind, and blunderbuss is a great tech for the French. For the non-French players, it's yeah, it's a bit hit and miss. It's not the greatest, but it does double your attack. Extra range as well, and your hand attack goes from 10 to 13, which is also pretty decent in that respect as well. ESOC TV, top UI, absolutely, there you go. You do see the colourful bars. That just shows how much I look at those in the game as well. CM being called in from Aizamk, double musks being trained behind. Does have villagers on the top here gathering quite. These were never real idled. I would actually like to see just a couple of Vils walking far off to this musk deer. Not too sure Lukas has scouted it. I'm sure he knows that area of the map exists. You can see the kind of channel he's been pushing in so far already. But if he does go off to the top to raid, it does buy the British player time. He's got the superior eco, so it's not that bad of a trade-off in that situation. Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, if the Lakota player here, he's only just sent his 5 vills now, but this kind of play, he needed to kill quite a few vills to try and kind of stop this eco discrepancy between the British and Lakota really, adding too much. The two-stage clutch play is nice, it helps, but it's only on this map as well. It's not great. Probably it's just a 6 vil, 7 vil eco. It's nice. 5 vils as well is obviously very very close for obvious reasons. But Aizamk 46 vils probably on the steel traps as well. That's something to consider. Because the player don't have access to steel traps. Seeing those on the villagers here. Potential losing vil. Yeah, one vil does go down. The other vil's get into the town centre. There's a lot of stuff going to the town centre. And if I'm not mistaken, it was a longbow. Yeah, so a longbow actually survives a colonial militia town centre shot with 0 HP. So these Seaton bows will survive a colonial militia town centre shot with about 5 or 6 HP. They won't go down 1-to-1 shots. The clubs will go down to 1 shot because they have melee resist. So actually that is a nice little break point there. So that's what the town centre can focus on, is the clubs here. And obviously the bow riders is just bow riders. Maybe an outpost being dropped down from A's will actually help out the situation to try and get that 25, that 30 times by 1.5 multiplier versus all cavalry for the outpost to try and work down the bow riders a little bit faster. But I'm sure the longbows will do a very good job in that situation. Yeah, Ace has a couple of hussars. He's actually massing hussar rank at the back, just coming in later, trying to kind of say A's like, hey, look, I've got my infantry army. Don't go, come in, try and kill me now. This is your time to kill me. And he kind of wraps behind with the hussars. That's the play I'm getting out from Aizamk here. Also, he does have this. He cancelled the CM, didn't he? He's cancelled it and went for a musk attack instead. So I think in the end, the cancelling the CM is probably the right decision here. Invest those resources into hussars, tech your musks, and you're not really hitting any break points of the Seaton bows. It's not really much of an issue. Lots of hussars here. Has Lukas seen it? Oh, he does now. He sees now. Village is being pulled in. Musks are going back. Here's the war club's going to pull away. And hussars going to try and run away from the war club. So this is actually quite important that this little micro battle here between Lukas and Aizamk of trying to kill his huss before losing all his war clubs. The Seaton was doing decent damage, but they're actually automatically targeting the villagers, because if they targeted the musketeers, they would instantly melt. But the villagers here actually tanking much more. 52 more HP, and also they don't have that double multiplier, but the Seaton bows do have musketeers. Very, very important decision there from A's to use his villagers into tank as well. In the end, I think A's would just about come out ahead of here, and Lukas is pulling back. Bow riders here, not really much for him to deal with, and the A's tanking with his villagers here. It's just such a big brain play, just a level higher than what I would achieve, and that's just basically single-handedly saved him in this game and saved his position. Otherwise, you'd have definitely seen at least 15 of those musketeers going down. Military has been somewhat less one-sided, and Lukas probably not being in a full retreat mode as he is in right now. Passy calling out a player for calling GG early. Yeah, it's never GG into the fat lady sings, or in this case, either Lukas or Aizamk type in that GG well played. Games are always dynamic. War clubs come out to the musketeers. Probably not the ideal situation it wants to be, and Aizamk just coming strong position now. Hussars raiding villagers, 4 villagers exposed. But I don't think A's was really paying too much attention, but he knows there's even more villagers back here. Where does A's want to go? I think he's just focused on the main fight. Bow riders are running back to try and survive, and in the end, A's might only just get that 1 vil. He's going to run back for these vils. I think he's just trying to look around for something better, but these 4 vils would do. Or at least just get the bow riders away from this main fight as well. Musk's just walking onto the Seaton bows. This middle position to get picked off. Extra 21 HP on these Seaton bows thanks to the double TP there, helping it a little. And then I'm sure Aizamk will look to clean up the remaining. Yeah, A's just hasn't quite found where the Lakota player is hunting quite yet, and that would be a quick way for Aizamk to secure the GGs to get a massive raid in. He does see these animals here dead, so he does see this is going down very, very fast, so he could push his hussars there. He does see this hussar villagers going down with lots of food there, so he does see that. That is a possibility for him. Doesn't know about the hunt behind the base. But double full batches of musketeer hussars, obviously musk attack, cav HP as well, super upgraded units. And classic musketeer hussar play from British play. Once again, just looking so strong in this current meta. There you go, Aizamk pushing forward. The War Chief dance has been used to revive the Explorer. Bit of split micro here. He's going to focus on it so much that there's the 2 vills going down, and the 3rd vill with the final altogether. 2 dog soldiers called from the home city shipment. Bow Riders stand behind. Unfortunately, Bow Riders of their incredible units versus this many double Cardi Musketeers. It's not the trades that the Bow Riders really, really want that situation. You know, I'm sure that the Bow Riders would prefer to take on like Dragoons, Cavalry. Like even like Dragoons, they can take Dragoon trades, but they can't take Musk trades in the end because Musks are just powerhouse. Big button dog soldier! Oh my god! But it's on top of the Musketeers, unfortunately. And these are only colonial dog soldiers, and these are double-carded British Musketeer. And they're just going to rip through the dogs. But it did provide me a little bit of moment of joy there from Lukas, and the GG gets called. So yeah, 2 apiece, and yeah, and it's going to be another 3-2. Obviously, the 3-2 is probably the most common result in these series because there's 2 viable ways that a 3-2 result can achieve. Where you can argue that although there's 2 ways to achieve a 4-1 result, if one player's getting a 4-1, well then it kind of says a lot that the other player wasn't ever going to get to that level. But yeah, 2 apiece after 4 games. We've got 1 more game, guys, to go. And let's see who's going to take that +1 point difference and win it for their team. So all the eyes on, all the pressure's on for the final game. Yeah, let's go to the post-game. Villager population. Yeah, Aizamk so much more villagers, and it's the idea that the kind of 700 wood stagecoach, but a bit of infantry coming in behind with the 4 axe riders. When that does hit, it's just possibly not enough. It's possibly not enough infantry and army, and the economy is already well established there for A's. However, for the large parts of the game, it was looking pretty close with the Lakota player having decent picks. A lot of vills going down here. Obviously, that's the villager population. Military is also pretty even trades, a little bit here and there, but the villagers going down as well, forcing Minutemen pop and all this kind of stuff. But it's just that final fight as well, the backdoor Hussar raid as well, coming in, or the flank, shall I say, and pulling at the war clubs and the bow riders around, longbows and muskets doing damage. We noticed the villagers as well going down, 51 down to only 45. It's incredible that only 6, maybe 7 vills with 1 being trained go down in that whole duration of that fight. It felt like it should have been more, it ought to be more, but that certainly protected A's 63 pop to 39. That should be 20. That should be maybe an even trade down to like 10 pop a piece if no villagers were there, because there's villagers tanking. That single-handedly won A's the game there. So yeah, although I wouldn't recommend everybody uses villagers to fight their military battles, sometimes it does mean the difference between winning a game and losing the game. And I think A's made that decision there incredibly correctly there. War resources, yeah, it's slightly ahead there for A. It's probably a bit closer than I thought it would be. I'm still confused about this TP back at home. Maybe it was a misclick. Maybe Lukas wanted the ceremonial pit there instead. Doesn't matter though. We'll move on to game number 5. Oh no, I don't want to play ranked. I want to go into spectator mode because we're spectating live games for this series in between A's and Lukas. Come on, you can't forget who the hell you're playing with. It's actually a miracle as well, but we haven't actually come across. Oh, hitting the spectator mode might help as well. It's kind of a miracle, but we haven't actually come across any technical faults with the kind of spectating just yet. Oh my god, I completely forgot. Probably not, mate. I did say to... Okay. I did say to Challenger Mark over, like, oh yeah, come co-cast with me. He was like, oh, I might miss the first hour. Like, yeah, sure. Ping me a message. I'll get you in between the game. And I realised actually, well, he's not like, oh, I'm here. I'm like, it's final game. We'll rearrange it. We'll do it later. We'll do it at a later point. Cool. Final game is going to be on the Pampas CRS. Looks like that should be interesting. Yeah, let's click into it. Right, back in a sec, guys, as well. Load it up. Right, guys, we are back for our final game, and just to show you lovely folks at home, to ensure your peace of mind that these are live recorded games, look how close to live game we are. It's probably about 10 seconds behind, 15 seconds delay, just every time this game gets closer and closer, we get more and more data comes in, and we're just slowly, we're not catching them, there's the same set distance behind them. So it's good to see that the spectators starting to feel more stable. We've had a few issues recently in the last series between Izad and Lukas, but so far we've managed to have a very good series here today in terms of technical side. So I'm certainly very happy in that situation. Let's put the overlay back on. It's 2 apiece. This is the final game. This is where all the good stuff's going to happen. Right, we see final game: Japan versus Russia. I completely forgot who was counter-picking who. I think it was Aizamk picking the Russians here first, possibly, with Lukas counter-picking as the Japanese, because Lukas did pick the Lakota Civ for game number 4, with Aizamk countering the Brits. So it feels like a bit of a weird matchup here for and weird Civ for Lukas to pick there. Obviously, there is a Civ reset in action. So, for example, Lukas could play. Could actually play the Aztecs if he wanted to, could play the Chinese or the other Civ he played in game number 1, which I completely forgot what game that was. I'm going to say it's something to do with China, Japan, oh, I can't remember. Maybe Japan, Brit. I completely forgot. I've drawn a blank. Yes, I think Aizamk was Britain, Lukas was Japan. So yeah, Lukas playing Japan for the second time this series in response to Aizank's Russian pick. I'd expected Aztec here. I don't know about you guys in the chat, but I feel Aztec here would have been a better, better playing, better idea. But defensive Japan works very well, and obviously the most famous case of Japan versus Russia on Pampas is, of course, the final game of the New World Championship in 2019, where Daruga defeated Lord Raphael on this map in this matchup. We're playing very defensive Japan, walling up, sending CM, just being very methodical and slowly retaking the map, pushing out with very strong Ashi Nagi HP, fundamental card there in Daruga's deck, really being very well, and just obviously gaining more map, walling off the zones of the map, getting the shrines down, growing the eco, and just playing smart. So anyway, so from Lukas, we do see 2 shrines, we do see 300 wood being sent, we do see 2 shrines being sent at the backside as well. A lot of llamas here to go onto these shrines, but actually he's built these shrines too close to a patch of guanacos, but it actually may pick them himself instead. It's Tishoga's shrine coming down. Fair enough. For some reason, after this opening, I just assumed it's going to be a Torii Gates play here from Lukas because of the 300 wood extra shrines in base, but looks like you can go to Tishoga Shrine on Heavily Kami, you can go Shrine on 300 wood, you can go Shrine on 3 boats. Lots of different Age 1 open shipments here for Japan, but the age up's still the same, and probably the play behind it. One thing I could say, though, that the Tishoga Shrine here offers that the Torii Gates doesn't is the export on the age up, and that could be early Japan consulate into Club Rush maybe. Club Ashi timing really pushed the blockhouse nice and early. 3 villagers moving forward to build this blockhouse, and these days with all the negative nerfs that Minutemen have, Explorers have, Pets have, Native Warriors have, I don't actually think you need 3 villagers to build a blockhouse these days. Certainly 2 will be suffice, and it's really hard to even punish 1. You always feel a bit tilted when you just see 1 build a blockhouse, and you think, well, there's absolutely nothing I can do to deal with this. But yeah, these days you don't need all 3 because there's nothing to really stop you. And obviously this blockhouse is way up before the age up. Okay, it's actually pretty close. I lie. I take that back. Maybe A's actually was a bit late onto the wood chopping in transition. Who knows? I've certainly got the blockhouse up fast with just the 2 vills. Anyway, 5 Cossacks coming in first. 10 Strats being trained first as well. That's wood being picked up. Market, we have hunting dogs. No steel traps just yet, but I'm sure they'll come in at a later point. At the moment, it looks like Aizamk is purely focused on the food and wood income. I'm sure another house will be dropped down at some points to alleviate this population problem he's about to have. Oh, early second blockhouse, a really early second blockhouse. Has Aizamk scouted the consulate? He has scouted. Oh, what a great play from A's. Look at this. He's scouted the Sugar Shrine into delayed consulates. He knows his export. He knows it's going to be Shinobi no Monos or Conshine Bushes from the consulate. Strelets counter both. Double blockhouse to defend himself from a potential club push-out. Interesting play from A's. Slightly taking the up advantage. But there's Nagi here. There's a stable. There's a surprise stable here for Lukas. Batch of clubs do come out. 1 Nagi is in queue. We've bid to go a couple more. Double Ashy shipment behind. This is it feels like it's going to be a very fast-paced game. This is going to be. But, yeah. The double blockhouse there from A's is probably a real smart move from himself, which he hasn't quite clocked on. I'm sure he's aware of it, because why else would you do double blockhouse production this early if you can't really afford that production? But yeah, Club Ashi Nagi seems to do very well versus Russia, especially because Nagi is a tanky Lancer style cav, so he can tank the Musketeers' range shots, absolutely destroy Strelets. About 45 attack. Yeah, easy 2-hit kill on the Strelets. Easy. Not even close. 2-hit kill on the Strelets. Clubs do well with the Cossacks. Snaring the Musks. Ashi's just can do the Musks and the Cossacks. And all the infantry can do the buildings as well. This is a nice push-up here from Lukas. I love this plan. A really well-worked strategy here from himself. Start working on the 1 blockhouse. He's got to be careful the range far from the Strats. But even then, 1 Strat didn't even do enough damage versus a Concha Ibushi because he was in cover mode, actually. He shot the 1 clubman in who's being attacked in cover mode. So when the Strats came into fire volley, they couldn't even actually kill that one because of the cover mode. So I'm just thinking this looks great for Aizamk instead. So you've got a bit of a deviation between players who they think is better for who. Another blockhouse being built here for Aizamk instead. Garja thinking this is all Japan favoured, so let's start crowdfunding for a Garja soldier show match. That'll be interesting. Obviously, much more interesting than a Harrison versus soldier show match. That would be a bit one-sided. So yeah, not really much infantry here, and the second batch of Nagi's coming out. Lukas can just right-click the entire army. I'm actually now worried here for Aizamk. He's now sending in gold. He's sending gold. Is it to try and mass-produce musketeers and have everybody on food and just try and do that? I mean, that's something he could do. The wall is smart though. Lukas has literally just walked right into that 1 segment of wall between the Mapuche and the Silver Mine, but that delaying tactic has got himself an extra 5 musks, killed 1 Ashi from the blockhouses, but that's about it. With this many Nagis, I feel that Lukas can just really try and take the units here. 1 blockhouse goes down, that might have disrupted a batch production here from A's, but yeah, he's just going to go right in on now. Ashi's focusing on the Musketeers. Big engagement here. Most of the Ashi's Musketeers in hand combat doing decently well, but I see the Clubmen in this position, also taking quite a bit of range damage. There's a samurai here still. Also, the samurai on the age up. No, that's got trains. Shipped? He shipped samurai. Why does he ship samurai? He shipped 3 samurai in here as well. I thought it was just a pure clubman army. That's why the buildings have gone down really fast. Samurais with 71 siege. Clubmans as well, 40 siege. But the samurais really affecting that. The army's cleaned up. The village is exposed. And this one blockhouse will go down if the army stands. I think he's overpriced in the village and musketeers. This is where you want to focus your army around the blockhouse. I think he's seen it. He's going to pull it back after the Muskville goes down. The 2 villas retreat back to home behind this. But Lukas retreating his Naginatas onto the single blockhouse. And that is the 1, 2... That's the 3rd blockhouse going down. Counting with Harrison here. Get your fingers out. Number 1, 2, and 3. That's the 4th blockhouse. Bit of raiding base, I guess. Native scout, not much going on. But yeah, Lukas, 70 shrine pop, 2 sheeps there. You've got 8 llamas. He's managed to win the entire llama war there, or maybe picked up a llama treasure as well. So questions for A's how the llama war goes so not well in that situation there. And yes, he knows. Lukas knows that Ace is training here from this blockhouse. He's just going to right-click this and try and focus this down. He feels he can get this down before the next batch pops, but it actually does get the pop out. And Minutemen with another batch of musks and villagers. Actually, it could be a close engagement here. Possibility of Aizamk holding this, but Lukas, in terms of the match momentum here, probably stronger eco and bigger reinforcements. So yeah, another batch of 5 Nagis is a great reinforcement. Aizamk hits that tap out button. He types in the GGs. I say GG's to both players myself. I give Lukas his well-deserved 3-2 win, and yeah, Lukas beating Ace 3-2. It's a bit of a scalp. I'm sure he'll be very, very impressed and very happy with his play today, and yeah, just kind of backs up what I saw in that last week's play versus Ezad, where he lost the series 3-2, but I thought the play from Lukas was very good at a high level as well. So that was good to see there. Right, it's time for my dinner time now. Pizzas and maybe a side salad, a bit of potatoes on the side, a bit of cheese, and let's see what's some lovely stuff. So I'm going to leave you here on ESOC TV, and but I'm sure it's my time to have a little snoop around the Discords and the chats and to see who else may want to continue, because I'm sure there's a series going on right now to live spectate or cast from recorded games. Either all, there's possibilities. So I'll have a little look around, but in the meantime, village count, or not village, that's all unit village count. Yeah, I mean standard. No village has been shipped there by Japan, but he's going for a different play style. And the military population, the early clubs, Nagi production, Ashi into samurai shipments as well, smashed out. And really took strategy went really well. A strategy win that game was. Cool. Well, that's the end for this series, and we'll move out for what's happening afterwards.